What's up, fight fans? Carly here, and welcome to the official SDW podcast. We're fresh off the madness of SDW Mayhem, and if your brain's still trying to process that ending, yeah, same. Title unifications, betrayals, Tony Khan running his mouth, and oh right, War Games blew the roof off the place. But there's no rest for the wicked because Season 5 is knocking, and SDW is coming back harder, louder, and more unpredictable than ever. New rules, new rivalries, and a whole new level of chaos. So strap in. We've got a lot to unpack with Greg and Sandy biting at the bit to bring you all the news and action leading up to the Season 5 debut of Stonedogwrestling this Friday.
Okay, so are you ready to dive into this absolute insanity that was SDW Mayhem?
Oh yeah. I mean, where do we even begin?
I mean, it wasn't just some regular wrestling show.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah, we're talking major event level stuff all packed into one night, and the fact that Stone Dog, the creator, spends 24 to 48 hours on each episode
Each week. Yeah, that's dedication.
Yeah.
To make it feel like an actual TV broadcast.
Exactly. I mean, you can really feel the effort he puts in to give fans that authentic experience.
Absolutely. It's not just throwing together some matches like you see in a lot of offends,
Right. It's everything from the storylines to the pacing to the presentation. It's all so well thought out.
It's next level stuff.
So that's exactly what we're going to break down for you today. All the crazy action from SDW Mayhem.
The highlights, the title, matches the moments that left us speechless.
Yeah. Maybe you're a wrestling fan who hasn't checked out SDW yet.
Yeah, we're going to give you a taste of what you're missing.
Why it's become such a must-see for so many people.
The excitement, the community.
It's fun, it's interactive, and it all comes down to the passion Stone Dog pours into every single week.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
Let's dive right into the deep end.
Let's start with that wild Extreme Fighting Championship Iron Man cage match.
Oh, man. 4 guys in the cage. The T-Cruz Diaz Painkiller, and the champ Ken Shamrock.
Talk about a recipe for chaos.
Right off the bat, what I love about Iron Man matches is every pin, every submission counts.
Yeah, it creates this constant sense of urgency.
You can't let up for a second. And Shamrock, being the submission specialist he is, went right after Cruz Diaz with that ankle lock.
Oh yeah, he loves to try and get an early lead in those matches.
Smart strategy, and then things just exploded from there. Painkiller hit the T with not 1, but 2 power bombs.
Just brutal.
But then, out of nowhere, Cruz Diaz gets a triangle lock on Painkiller and forces him to tap.
The lead changes hands just like that.
So back and forth, right?
And then Shamrock slaps another ankle lock on Cruz. It was like a submission masterclass early on.
Showcasing everyone's strengths, right?
Absolutely. You've got the power of Painkiller, the technical skill of Shamrock Diaz's opportunism.
And the T just trying to survive in this crazy environment.
The momentum swings were wild. You never knew who was going to get the next fall.
Exactly. And Painkiller eventually did pin the T with another powerbomb.
Evening things up.
Yeah, but then Shamrock, you guessed it, another ankle lock, and Painkiller taps again. The T tries to take advantage with a belly-to-back suplex on Cruz, but the pin gets broken up at 2.
Classic Iron Man chaos, right?
Yeah, it was like a 4-way dance with alliances constantly shifting.
Yeah, you can't focus on just one opponent. You got to be aware of everyone in that cage.
Then boom, a sidewalk slam from Painkiller to Shamrock Cruz almost gets a pin after a lion salt.
Oh man, that was close.
For those who don't know, it's basically a springboard moonsault onto a standing opponent.
Yeah, high-flying stuff.
But Painkiller wasn't done with Diaz. He hit him with a jackknife powerbomb. And guess what? Shamrock locks in his 3rd ankle lock of the match. Painkiller taps again.
Shamrock was racking up those submission victories.
At this point, it seemed like he was running away with it.
Right, but then the T finally got on the board.
Yeah. He hit a T-bone suplex on Painkiller. Diaz breaks up the pin, so the T spears Diaz and gets the 3 count.
Finally, some points for the T.
But the match was far from over. A Columbus cutter from the T gets only a 1 count. Shamrock hits a DDT on Diaz.
And Painkiller with another powerbomb.
This time on Shamrock, it was non-stop action. The T keeps going after Diaz gets another near fall, but Shamrock breaks it up again.
The tension was building.
Everyone was getting desperate to catch Shamrock.
Yeah, they knew time was running out.
And then in the final moments, The T hits another Columbus cutter, this time on Shamrock, and that's it.
The clock runs out, and Ken Shamrock wins.
He retains the SDW Extreme Fighting Championship in an absolute war.
What a way to kick off the night.
Talk about setting the bar high. So much action, so many near falls.
It was a showcase of athleticism and just pure brutality.
Next up, we had the SDW TV title match, Reaper defending against Braddock Knight.
Oh, man. This one got intense fast.
Right. Reaper comes out hot, hits an Irish kiss, then a flying shoulder tackle taking Braddock down hard.
He was looking to make a statement early on.
Yeah, but Braddock Knight, he's known for his hardcore style, and he wasn't backing down. He grabs a light tube and smashes it across Reaper's back.
Oh, man, the sound of that breaking glass.
It was brutal.
And then the match just descended into this back-and-forth war with weapons.
Yeah, Reaper grabs a stop sign. Braddock hits a bar fight clothesline, tries to use another light tube.
But Reaper spits poison mist right in his face.
That was a turning point.
It blinded Braddock, gave Reaper the upper hand.
Reaper goes for the pin, but only a 2 count, and then he just busts open Braddock's face.
It got really personal really fast.
Yeah, it was more than just about the title at that point.
It was about inflicting pain.
And the end came soon after that. Reaper hits his devastating last ride.
Braddock Knight couldn't kick out.
And Reaper retains the SDW TV Championship in a bloody, hard-fought battle.
It was a war of attrition out there.
After that chaos, we got an appearance from Tony Khan. You know, him always got to stir the pot a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Never one to miss an opportunity to brag a little bit.
He comes out boasting about his wealth, as usual, and starts talking about his hand-picked team within SDW.
Dropping hints about his plans.
Saying how they're going to take control, implying that while Team Sweet is focused elsewhere, his team is making moves.
Really interesting to see these outside figures getting involved in the SDW storylines.
Yeah, it adds this whole other layer of intrigue.
It's like a power struggle brewing.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. All right, I'm moving on to a very different kind of match.
A submission cage match.
Stone Fox versus Alexa Bliss. And in that cage, it's all about technical wrestling, forcing your opponent to tap out.
No escape, no pinfalls, just pure submission grappling.
And the report we got indicates that Alexa Bliss actually controlled a lot of the match early on.
But Stone Fox is no slouch on the mat.
Not at all. And in the end, they managed to lock in this brutal-looking armbar.
Alexa had no choice but to tap.
Yeah. A big win for Stone Fox, proving their grappling skills.
Shows they can go toe-to-toe with anyone on the mat.
All right, next up, we had some high-flying action in the Cruiserweight title ladder match.
Trick Williams challenging the champ Clark Thunder.
And right from the bell, Trick is on fire. He goes straight for the ladder, even manages to climb up and grab a couple of the numbers.
Gotta love that early aggression in a ladder match.
But Thunder wasn't about to give up his title that easily.
Oh no, he fought back tooth and nail.
They're brawling at the top of the ladder, trading blows, choking each other.
Talk about a precarious situation.
It was wild. And Thunder almost had it. He was just 2 numbers away from victory.
I thought he had it for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
But then the match just explodes with these huge moves. Trick hits an electric chair drop, then a super kick.
The crowd was going wild.
Then they take the fight to the outside. Thunder focuses on Trick's face. It gets brutal. He even tries to choke him out again, but Trick slams him right onto the ladder.
Ouch, that had to hurt.
Then Trick manages to knock Thunder off the ladder, and he goes for his signature, whoop that Trick taunt.
Oh man, he was feeling confident.
But Thunder rolls out of the way just in time. Then Trick spears Thunder outside the ring. With Thunder down, Trick sees his chance. He climbs the ladder, grabs the final numbers, and that's it. We have a new SDW Cruiserweight champion.
Trick Williams.
What a moment! He fought so hard to get that title.
After all those close calls and the punishment he took.
It was a well-deserved victory. But things took a dark turn later on with a backstage segment.
Ace Crusher and Brick Grimes, they were supposed to have a match.
But instead, Ace just blindsides Brick, attacks him from behind with a baseball bat.
It was savage.
And then he just keeps hitting him with a shovel. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Where did that even come from?
And then Ace grabs a microphone and drops a bombshell.
He says he's been playing everyone.
That he only cares about himself and that he took a big fat check from Tony Khan to screw over Team Sweet.
Wow, talk about a betrayal.
He says he's going to bring truth to SDW, that he's the only one willing to speak it.
This changes everything.
It throws a wrench into the whole Team Sweet versus Team Khan rivalry.
What are the ramifications of this going to be?
What's going to happen next week? Okay, moving on. We had the Women's World title match, Frost defending against Blue Monica.
Monica decided to cash in her brass ring contract.
For those who don't know, it basically guarantees you a title shot anytime, anywhere.
High risk, high reward.
She clearly saw this as her chance to get the women's world title back for the Disciples.
Yeah, she went all in.
And Frost starts strong with the backbreaker, but Monica quickly hits her with the blue mass for a near fall,
showing she's not messing around.
Then Frost starts working on Monica's legs, locks in a figure-8 leg lock, hits her with a moonsault.
Smart strategy, trying to weaken Monica's base.
Limit her mobility. But Monica fights back, hits a backbreaker of her own, some arm work, a huge sit-down powerbomb.
She was not giving up.
Then she takes it to the outside with a suicide dive, puts Frost through a table.
This match was back and forth the whole time.
It was intense. Frost regains control, keeps attacking Monica's legs.
Really wearing her down.
Then she introduces a trash can into the mix. Things get even crazier. Monica manages to use the can for a bit, but Frost takes over again, keeps Monica trapped. And then in the final moments, with time running out, looks like this match had a time limit. Frost just unloads on Monica with the trash can, hits you with a spear, and gets the pin.
Right as the time expires.
Frost retains the SDW Women's World title.
What a dramatic finish.
Talk about cutting it close. After that brutal match, we had a handicap match. The Mega Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson versus Brick Grimes.
And remember, Brick was still hurting from that attack by Ace Crusher earlier.
But he insisted on fighting to try and give Team Sweet an advantage in the War Games match later.
Talk about putting your team first.
Even after taking that beating, he was ready to go.
He was admirable.
But going up against the Mega Bucks 2-on-1, after all, that was a tall order.
Yeah, it was a tough ask.
Right off the bat, Nick hits Brick with a super kick. But Brick comes back with a 10-ton Brick.
He was fired up.
Then he hits Matt with this crazy maneuver. I don't even know how to describe it.
It was wild.
And then he catches Nick's super kick midair and locks in a mutilock.
Unbelievable.
He puts Nick in a tree of woe, keeps Matt from interfering, hits a Carolina Destroyer, a rear naked choke on Matt. He was dominating.
I thought he might actually pull off the upset.
Me too. But eventually, the numbers game catches up to him. The Mega Bucks start double-teaming him effectively.
They're masters of tag team wrestling.
Nick even does a dive over the top rope. With 3 minutes left, Brick somehow kicks out after being pinned.
He just refused to stay down.
It was incredible, but in the end, the Mega Bucks were too much for him. They get the win.
Meaning Team Khan would have the man advantage in War Games.
Yeah, that was going to be huge in the main event, but you got to give Brick credit for fighting as hard as he did.
He left it all in the ring, that's for sure.
Okay, almost to the main event, but first we had the U.S. title on the line in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Dizzy the Champ versus Steven McGregor.
And this one was over quick. Dizzy comes out, hits a Dizzy Destroyer, a standing moonsault.
Right out the gate.
He was on a mission. McGregor almost gets a pin with his twisted butterfly, but Dizzy kicks out. Then McGregor throws a trash can into the mix, tries to change the momentum.
Take it to the extreme.
They go outside. Dizzy hits a Stun Dog Millionaire, then a fireman's carry into Snake Eyes on the apron.
Brutal.
And that's basically the match. Dizzy wins 2 straight falls, another Stun Dog Millionaire for the first fall.
He was unstoppable.
And then another fireman's carry into Snake Eyes on the apron, followed by one more Stun Dog Millionaire for the second fall. Dizzy retains his U.S. title in dominant fashion.
A clean sweep. He proved he's the better man tonight.
Okay, finally the main event.
The match everyone was waiting for. War Games.
Team Sweet versus Team Khan, the culmination of weeks of buildup and bad blood.
And with Ace Crusher's betrayal earlier in the night, the stakes were even higher.
It was electric. So representing Team Sweet, Jack Perry starts things off in the cage against Roman Reigns for Team Khan. They go back and forth in the early going, pretty even.
Feeling each other out, testing the waters.
Then the second man for Team Sweet enters, Will Ospreay. And he brought weapons.
He was ready for war.
A table, a kendo stick, a sledgehammer, and he immediately makes an impact with a huge dive off the top of the cage onto Roman Reigns.
What a way to enter the match.
Team Sweet had the advantage early on.
And then Stone Dog himself comes in to even the odds for Team Khan.
But Reigns keeps targeting Jack Perry with the sledgehammer. Stone Dog has to keep Ospreay from interfering.
It was a chaotic 3-way dance in there.
Then Kane enters for Team Khan, bringing a chair and a trash can into the mix.
Upping the brutality level.
But Stone Dog quickly takes him down with a straitjacket suplex. It was mayhem. And finally, the last man enters for Team Sweet.
The Windy City Saint CM Punk.
The crowd went nuts.
War Games had officially begun.
And the action was nonstop. Perry sets up the table, Ospreay hits a Yokozuka cutter.
It was a highlight reel.
And then CM Punk climbs to the top of the cage and hits this massive Superfly splash onto Kane.
The crowd lost their mind.
It was unbelievable. Then Punk hits a pile driver, unloads on Kane with the trash can, but the ending was controversial.
It was a confusing finish.
Will Ospreay gets caught in an anaconda vice and taps out.
But at the same time,
Kane has Roman Reigns pinned.
Right.
The referee had to make a tough call.
What do you do in that situation?
And in the end, the match is awarded to Team Sweet.
What a way to end the night.
It was a wild ending to a brutal match.
It left everyone talking.
And that was SDW Mayhem. Title changes, shocking betrayals, a chaotic War Games match.
It was a roller coaster of emotions.
Start to finish, it was a thrill ride. You can see how much effort Stone Dog puts into these shows.
It's incredible.
He makes it feel like you're watching a real wrestling broadcast. So if you're a fan of wrestling, you got to check out SDW.
You won't regret it.
The live shows are free to watch, and the community is awesome.
It's so much fun to be a part of.
And if you like what you see, support the channel however you can, even if it's just by tuning in.
Every little bit helps.
So after all that chaos, and with Ace Crusher turning on Team Sweet, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, what's the future of SDW?
How is this power struggle between Team Sweet and Team Khan going to play out?
What new alliances are going to form?
What rivalries are going to explode? It's going to be wild, that's for sure. So don't miss it.
Tune in next week.
You won't want to miss it.
We'll be here to break it all down for you.
See ya then. See ya.
All right, that's a wrap for this week's episode. Mayhem left shockwaves, and Season 5 kicks off this Friday. Titles on the line, grudges ready to explode, and yeah, someone's definitely getting wrecked. Catch it all live on YouTube and Twitch every Friday night at 10 p.m. Central. We're bringing the show to real fans, not the Facebook overlords who couldn't handle us. This is Carly signing off. Stay loud, stay locked in, and as always, stay violent, SDW.